All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Hey everybody, check, 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 mic check. This is Nick from Powtoon and we are live. If you can hear me, go ahead and just give me a shout out in the chat box. If you can see the chat field, I'm going to type here as well. Hello everyone. Can everyone hear me? So there's the chat for you. Find that. Yes, hello. Go ahead and give us a shout out. Let us know who you are, where you're from today. We've got so many people registered for this webinar. We're so excited here at Powtoon to be on the air with you to share the Powtoon Starters Guide webinar so you guys can all get started as rock stars. So feel free, just chime in the chat. You should be able to see the chat there on your screen. Just go ahead and say hello in the chat to us. We've got over 1,400 people signed up for this webinar. We've got Delana there. We've got Sonia coming in. Hello, hello. Let us know where you're coming from. We've got registrants from all over the world here. Delana, I apologize. I do my best to try and pronounce everybody's name the way they want it pronounced, and my apologies ahead of time if I miss the mark at all. Before we get started, I just want to introduce myself to you guys. My name is Nick. I'm head copywriter here at Powtoon. I work on scripts for our templates. I write emails. I'm sure you've all gotten a couple of them. I work on stuff for Powtoons that we make to support Powtoon and for all sorts of other things, presentations for live events, and of course, webinars. We've got Sonia on the line, who's originally from Tunisia, but she's connected via Mexico City. Hello. Everybody's here. Everybody is welcome. All right, so I want to get started. We've only got an hour today. We've got a lot of stuff to go through, and I don't want to waste your time. So let's get started looking at the Powtoon Starters Guide, how to get started like a rock star. We're going to be covering a couple of things. First of all, we are going to cover, if my computer will cooperate, the 5 tools of awesomeness in Powtoon. These are the essential tools you need in order to use Powtoon to get everything done. It's all the basic functions you need to become a rock star with Powtoon. We're going to talk about the 4 easy steps to make a perfect Powtoon. It's a really everything you need to be sure not only do you know how to make a Powtoon, but is it going to be a Powtoon that someone's going to want to watch. Then the 2 painful mistakes to avoid so you don't get frustrated like this guy and you don't waste your time. Finally, at the end, we have a special gift for you guys and a sneak peek. Let me tell you, I had to fight to get permission to show this sneak peek to you guys, and I think it's going to be so, so cool. So please stay until the end of the webinar so you can get that special gift and a sneak peek. So the question I get the most is, hey, Nick, hey, can you do a Powtoon 101 webinar? Can you give me the basics? And people are asking me this. All sorts of people are asking me this. And we're getting asked it more and more every day because more and more people are using Powtoon every day. In fact, there are 86,400 Powtoons created every single day. That is a Powtoon every second of every minute of every day. Powtoon is being used by every major Ivy League university. Powtoon is being used by 85% of Fortune 500 companies, startups. People are using it to grab attention. And it's more than it's just fun to watch or that it grabs your attention. It actually brings a return, right? Ryan Deiss, he's the CEO and founder of Digital Marketer. I mean, this guy is a giant in the field of digital marketing. Ryan Deiss said, our subscription to Powtoon has already paid for itself 100 times over. Or there's someone like Amanda Holmes. She used one Powtoon for a client to land more 6-figure appointments in 60 days than she'd gotten in the previous 5 years. I mean, that is just wild. So we're going to talk about what you guys need to know in order to get results like that. This starter's guide is going to teach you, apologize for the sound there, is going to teach you, thank you everybody for your patience with my technical glitch there. It's going to show you the those 5 essential tools of awesomeness, the 4-step process to making the perfect Powtoon, the 2 painful mistakes to avoid, and we've got the Q&A and the special sneak peek at the end. So We all live in a digital world. What is the big elephant in the room? You can go ahead and shout something out on the chat if you like. Throw that in. I think it's pretty clear to most of us whether we're at dinner with our family and people are looking at their phones, whether we're walking down the street and we see people almost walk into traffic, or whether we're in a meeting at work and people aren't paying attention to stuff that's vital for what they've got to do. The big elephant in the room today is distraction and attention spans. Distraction is growing and attention spans are shrinking. And the amazing thing about Powtoon is it leverages all three learning modes of the adult brain. The adult brain learns in three main ways. First, through visuals, right? We can see a picture, we can read text, we can learn visually. We also learn through the auditory, right? We learn through what we hear. Music can have a big impact, all sorts of things. Of course, orally, spoken word, voiceovers, things like that. And finally, kinesthetic learning. We learn through moving, through doing, through feeling, through touch, right? So those three learning modes are all activated by animation, and it's a really powerful thing. And the other thing that makes animation amazing is that we are conditioned from childhood to love animation. If you grew up anytime in the last 75 years, I'm betting you guys did, you probably had a TV in your home. And it's very likely that you watched cartoons on that TV. It's very likely you watched cartoons regularly, maybe every Saturday, maybe every day after school. Maybe you were sitting there with a sibling, with a friend, with your parents, whatever it was, time and again, when the cartoons came on, the good times rolled, right? Laughing, fun, happy, times with friends and family. Those good feelings, that sense of openness, all of that is triggered immediately when we see animation, no matter the context. It's just the conditioning that we've all grown up with. So those are the reasons why Powtoon is so powerful. Those are the reasons why people are using it all the time. We've got over 38 million Powtoons have been created, and it's totally awesome. So today, you are going to be seeing the 5 tools of awesomeness. Let's get into this. Let's dig in here. The first tool of awesomeness, actually, it's not a tool inside the editor. It is a tool, page rather, that I call the My Powtoons page. And this is the My Powtoons page. It's such a powerful tool because this is your home base. This is your base station. This is where you get started for Powtoon. I'm just going to take you through a few of the resources on this page, and then we'll move on to the next tool of awesomeness. First, on your right, over here, you see this guy. Hey guy. Remember, before you start, write a script, record a voiceover, add visuals. This is our recommended process for doing a Powtoon, and each one of those play buttons pulls up a Powtoon that our CEO and Chief Executive Unicorn, Ilya, made to really take you through step by step on all those. I really recommend taking a look at those resources there. Just below that, you see this Get Voiceover button. That'll connect you to a website called Voice Bunny, where professional voiceover artists are doing work for people, and you can connect to them right on that site. So if you want to add a voiceover, but you don't quite feel like you have the expertise or the voice for it, or maybe you don't have the equipment or the time, you can outsource that directly from the platform here. Some other resources to take a look at. There's some examples. You can hire a Powtoonist to make your Powtoon for you. We've got a resource center. Premium plans, if you're looking to upgrade, you want some of those premium features, you're going to be using those, then you can take a look at the premium plans and upgrade from free. I definitely recommend that if you're going to be using this for work, or if you want to use any of those premium assets or any of the premium features. Finally, get the ebook. We've got this awesome ebook that Ilya wrote, and it's all about the power of cartoon marketing. Some of those learning modes and the neuroscience of why cartoons are so powerful. All of that is in that book. I think it's like $18 or something like that on Amazon, but it is free for you as a Powtoon member if you want to just click on that anytime. A couple more resources. Get help. Contact us. That'll connect you to our support team. They are rock stars and they are experts in Powtoon, so they can help you with any kind of technical issues you're having or anything like that. I definitely recommend that. Tutorials. We got a ton of really great tutorials. and we're making new ones all the time. So I do check those out. Also, the knowledge base. Our Rockstar support team takes the frequently asked questions, uh, all all of the things that customers are wanting to know and the things that come up all the time, and they've got awesome answers there for you. So if you are having a problem, maybe check the knowledge base. It might be something that we've come across before, and we can definitely help you with that. Finally, this last button, feature requests. Let's say there's a feature you really want to know, you really want to see, but it's not in the tool. Well, just let us know. Click feature request. You can see other requests people have made and where stage they're in. We're either we're researching it or we're looking into it and all that sort of stuff. So that's this side here. Now, when you go down here to the My Powtoons section, you can see all of the Powtoons that you've made, and you've got lots of options to manage them here. You can delete them straight from this page. You can duplicate them if you want to use a Powtoon as a template or to make copies of, duplicate it, and make different versions of it. If you have a premium plan, you can collaborate your Powtoon with another Powtoon user. So those are awesome options there. You click edit, that'll take you straight to the editor. And of course, you can also export and re-export your items here. If you click this button, it gives you a little bit more information. You can manage the exports, you can add information, you can change the title, you can add a description and add tags. It's really, really awesome stuff. So, but the main part that you'll need to know about the My Powtoons page is up here. Internally, we call this the fork, right? This is the three main ways to make a Powtoon. On the right, you have start from scratch. Now, I recommend this for someone who's already familiar with Powtoon, or if you want to play around with some of the tools and functions and practice, maybe not necessarily to come up with a finished product, but to get to know the tool. That's a wonderful thing. Or if you feel really comfortable or you have a really great idea, you have it really fleshed out, you know exactly what you want, then dive right in. It's a completely blank slate. It is an empty sandbox. You can make whatever kind of sandcastle you want. It's really awesome. On the left here, this gets you to our storyboard option. I'm going to talk a little bit more about that in the next section of the webinar, okay? But right now, we're going to take a look at the templates gallery. Need some inspiration? Customize a popular template. So I'm going to go ahead and click that. All right, so we're taking a look here. First, a quick note. In the templates gallery, you can filter the templates based on what you're using it for. So if you're in education, you're a teacher or a student, if for personal things, I sent my mom Powtoon for her birthday this year. She really, really loved that. So there's all sorts of different things you can use it for, and of course, work. And this is the thing we hear people are getting the most value out of. So you can do it we've got templates for all sorts of use cases, training and tutorials, HR, freelancer, meeting related, sales and marketing, explainer videos, product videos, announcements, reports, company related, company guidelines, tips and lists, all sorts of things. We're just going to take a look at all the work templates here. And as you can see, there's something for almost anything. And if it doesn't fit exactly, you'll be able to customize it perfectly in the editor. So we're going to go ahead and use this one, the Meet Jane explainer. This will load all of the slides of the template into your storyboard. Again, we'll talk more about this tool in depth in a little bit, but right now what it does is it gives you a bird's eye view of this template. Every scene in there, you can get a sense of the script and where it's going. This is a really, really awesome script. It really can connect your viewer to this woman, Jane, and the struggles she's having, and how whatever product we're explaining overcomes those struggles and overcomes those challenges. It's a really effective way to get your message across. So that's one of the beauties of these templates. They're all like this. They are top-notch scripts that we've worked on with people in industries. We've worked with them to find the use cases that are best for them, the scripts that work the best, and that's what these are all about. We're going to go ahead and click continue to the editor. I just want to point out, Talia came in Talia, our marketing awesomeness manager here. She's so great, and she's helping me kind of manage some of the technical issues today. Just mentioned that we're getting a lot of requests about was there going to be a recording. We're definitely sending out a recording of this webinar to everybody as soon as it's done. So I thank you guys for that. You can keep it, hang on to it, review it, look at these skills. Also, let your friends know. Come to a webinar. You'll learn some really cool stuff. So it's really great. I thank you for your patience while this loads up, and we can start talking about the next tool of awesomeness, right? Our first tool of awesomeness was at my Powtoons page. The next tool of awesomeness. Hello. Thanks for your patience, is the character menu and the library. Okay, so let's jump back over here. The character menu is really simple. I've just clicked on Jane, our character here. And as you can see on the left, we have a few menu options that pop up. This is your fine control for your character, right? So if you click this first one, these are the different poses she has, right? She's happy, she's sad, she's typing something, she's angry. Let's see what angry looks like. Oh, she's so angry. It's great. Another thing you can do, the second one down, swap. Click swap. Let's say I'm not interested in having Jane. I want this guy. Swaps it right in. You don't have to change anything. He goes exactly where Jane was, but you've replaced the character, and it's really awesome. A to B. This is an awesome function. So you see I clicked A to B, and now I've got two versions of this guy. I'm going to move him over here. If I click A, it brings me back to the first one. And what this is this is a way to move your character on the screen from one point A to point B. We're going to take a closer look at that in a minute, but for now I'm going to turn it off. Animation settings. So there's an animation for each one of these poses, right? He's so happy, he's smiling. You can do that for a limited number of times, and you can control that 5, 6 times, 2 times, 3 times, whatever you want. You can do no animation, and then he'll be static, or you can play it in a loop so he continues to do that continuously. That's your character menu. Now I want to move over here to the library. This is a really powerful tool. It's basically your quiver of arrows, right? It's the place where you have all your ammunition to get your work done here in Powtoon. Layouts are really powerful. I'm going to talk about those separately. They're so cool. Background. All right, so we take a look at the background on this page here. We see that it's this like light blue, and there's some office things available there, but there's tons of backgrounds, and it's so easy to use. All you got to do is click on it. It swaps right in. No muss, no fuss. We've got these colored ones, gradients. There's some ones that have some strange little shapes in the background. These here are a little more office oriented, and there's some images. These are something like paper textures and cork boards and blackboards and all that kind of stuff. And we even have some animated backgrounds as well that moves very subtly in the background. So it's really cool. By the way, if there's something that you want and you can't find it, well, guess what? Click upload background, and you can upload any image you want. So we can just take, let's say, we're going to do this guy here. This was already in my images, but you can click that blue upload button and choose an image from anywhere. Beautiful stuff. The other thing you can do, pick a color. If you just want a solid color, you can choose one of these. You can fill in your color code, or we can use this dropper tool to use any color that we find here. So let's do this kind of orangey, peachy color. There he is. So that is background text. How do you edit text? It's so simple you won't believe it. You just double click, pulls it up. Hello there. And then as you see, this might kind of mess things up a little bit, so you'll want to reposition your text like that. This will change the size of your text box. And of course, to move the text, you just click and drag like that. It's very simple. And we got this different guy in here. Maybe he's John and not Jane. And I've got a little more space here now. I kind of want to make this bigger. And I don't know, this green with this peach. Maybe I want to go with a different color. Maybe we want to do a blue there. And we'll change this guy to blue too. Ooh. So you see what I did there? I accidentally changed the color of the text. I meant to change the color of this box. So we'll do this to blue. We'll select the text again, and we'll change that to white. There we go. So that's text. And then here in the library, you can see There's all sorts of different options. Title text, subtitle text, body text, text elements that you can put in. So these are like bullet points that all come in and they're all formatted the same. Look at these awesome design titles that we've got here. Any of these, it's as if you had a graphic designer who was making logos for you, and you can put in whatever words you want in there, whatever letters and text you want. It's really great. Further on down in the library, we can see lists of characters, and not only characters but also objects. Look how they're categorized: tech and web objects, right? Laptops and smartphones, mouses and logos and keyboards and all sorts of stuff from the office, and all sorts of things there that you might find in an office. Business things, transport, medical, everyday, nature, emojis. They've got everything you could possibly want here. It's good stuff. If you're having trouble finding something, just use that search tool. We can find, if we go for like car, and this should pull up all the cars. Boom, 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 boom. Beautiful. So search is super powerful. It's a wonderful thing to use here. The other thing I want to point our attention to, graphs. So if you're using Powtoon for business and you need to present data, this is so easy. Look at these dynamic graphs up top. Let's say we pick one. I just clicked it. It's going to show up here on our stage. I'm going to drag it to somewhere where we can read it. Okay, to edit, it's really simple. Just edit chart data. You click that edit button, and let's say we're talking about April and May and June. And let's see, in April we had 1,400 people on the webinar, and in May we had 1,800 people on the webinar, and in June, by June we're going to be so popular we're going to have 3,000 people on our webinar. Just click out of there. You see it already does your calculation. It rearranges the graph. We can also see what this looks like as a vertical bar graph. Just a moment. We can see what it looks like as a line chart as well. I'm going to go with this pie chart. If you save that information, it's right here. You can do the same thing with this as you do with the text boxes or with the characters. You can adjust the size. You can move it around. And you can even, if you move your mouse to the edge of the corner and you see that rounded arrow, you can even change the orientation like that. So these are really powerful tools. You can do whatever you want with them, and you get your data exactly the way you need it. By the way, if you're doing something that's a little more figurative or representational, you can use these guys here. These are great for infographics where you need to represent the idea of data or stats or growth or recession, but maybe you're presenting the data in a slightly different way, and so that's another option there. Okay, moving on. The sound, right? Sound, it's one of the major ways that our brain learns is through auditory learning, and sound is an essential part of a Powtoon. We've got tons of backing tracks, music tracks that you can find here. When you click that soundtrack button, it'll pull up the sound manager, which is what you're seeing right now. And see, this comes with a default default track. It sounds like this. Isn't that nice? But it might not be exactly what we're looking for the Powtoon that we're going to make. So if we look around, there's a way to filter this: acoustic, corporate, dramatic, happy, holidays, motivation. I want to hear, what's rock all about? Let's see rock. I'm just going to play a couple of these. You can see on the left, you've got these play buttons to preview them. And it just takes a moment for it to buffer. Here's another one. Right, really cool stuff. You find one that you like I like that last one, just click add. It's going to ask you, do you want to overwrite the previous track? And if that's the one you want, you certainly do. By the way, you can click here and import any MP3 you want and use that as your music track. You can also manage your voiceovers here. This top row is for voiceover. If you want to get a professional voiceover from someone at Voice Bunny, you can click here and it'll take you over there, no problem. Or if you feel like you have a confidence in your ability and you want to make your own voiceover, or if you want to make a guide track just so you get the timing right before you send out to get the professional voiceover, then you can do that right here. You can record it separately and import your MP3 of your voice file, just like you can do with your music track, or you can record it right here inside the sound manager. So that's the sound options there. By the way, you can also get to Voice Bunny over here to get a professional voiceover. You can do a voiceover per slide, and that means that you're not recording a track for the entire Powtoon, but just for this slide that we're looking at. Finally, images. Images are great. Obviously, we saw when we could upload an image to be our background. That was really powerful, and you can just imagine the possibilities. Excuse me, I'm just cleaning off some of the stuff on the stage here so that we'll have room to show these images. Now, what we have here are image holders. I'm going to click one of these. And when I do that, it prompts me to add an image. So this time I'm gonna add this skyline here. And you see what it does? It drops the image directly into the image holder. So it looks like this Mac screen has my image on it, right? Like it's actually playing on that screen. If you want to swap it out for a different image, just click this top button and you can do that from your library, or you can upload a new one. The other thing you can do here, edit image position and scale. This is so cool. Now let's say I really just I want this building to be the focus of what I'm looking at. I want to zoom on in. Just like I would with a character or any other asset, I grab the corner to change the size, and then I click and drag to orient it where I want it. Don't worry, I know it looks like the picture's taking up the whole screen, but as soon as I click outside this field, only what's left in the image holder is what's showing, and it's really, really, really cool. I love that. The other thing here is you've got A to B. You can flip, and you can do that on all the other ones as well. The other thing here that's unique, image effects. If you click this image effects button, look what this does. It pulls up basically like you've pretty much got Photoshop here. You know, if you're used to using Instagram or those kinds of things, you can see there's all sorts of different filters you can put on, but you can also add frames. Pardon the delay. Well, you can add frames, you can do a whole bunch of stuff, and boy, this is the reality of computers. I do apologize for this, guys. I'm also running the webinar software on my machine, and that tends to slow it down. But you can see now it looks like that frame is shown up, and we're just going to go ahead and X out of this here. Close. So you can just imagine how powerful that is. Again, I want to be good on our time here. I know that people are maybe on their lunch break or they're trying to get as much done as possible. So that concludes tool number 2. Our next tool of awesomeness is the timeline. And you may have seen me turn that on just a moment ago. Here's the timeline. It's at the bottom of the screen. You can turn it off and not worry about it, or you can turn it on and have exact control of every element on the stage. So for instance, our image holder, as you can see, it's represented by this little card here, and this edge is the beginning, is its entrance, and this edge is its exit. We can move it around, we can just drag it like this, we can make it longer, we can make it longer this way, we can make it shorter. It basically allows you to define exactly when elements come onto the stage, how long they're there, and when they leave. Not only that, you see these buttons on either side. These are your entry and exit effects, right? So currently, this is popping into existence. Let me show you what that looks like. See? It pops right in. But there's other options as well. You can have it fade in. This is a little more subtle. Whoop. You can have it come in from the bottom, like that. You can have it come in from the side, like that. And you can also add this hand effect, which is pretty cool. Check this out. Whoop, and looks like a hand went and put it on. So there's all sorts of possibilities there. This is your fine control. The other thing you can do here is you can make a slide longer or shorter. Take a look here. I've moved this playhead, this red triangle, which indicates what's playing right now. I moved it to the end of my slide, and I'm clicking this plus sign. That adds a second. No matter where your playhead is, that's where it's going to add the time. So if I put my playhead at 1 second and press this plus button, it's going to insert a second there. I can also remove it in the same way, just like that. And so now this is a 4-second slide. Pretty cool stuff. The timeline is a very powerful tool. Love it. Use it. It can also sometimes get a little bit confusing, but just remember to go one step at a time. Any one of these things indicates something that's on the stage. This is its length. This is its entrance. This is its exit. And that's what it's all about. On to our tool of awesomeness number 4, layouts. You'll remember a moment ago I said we're going to come back to this. Layouts are so amazing. These are designed for you scenes that they include, right, a background and characters and all these sorts of things. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to jump down. You see, they're organized by these different visual styles: infographic, business, corporate, whiteboard, or cartoon. I'm going to click cartoon and see what we have here. And then these are ready-made scenes. Just click it and it's there. I mean, it's really awesome. So this has all the timing and everything is already done. If we look down at the timeline, you can see that circle comes in. Here comes that guy. He says hi, worker name, add text, job position. So all you'd need to do would be to update the text here for the name, and you've got a slide that introduces somebody. It's very powerful. It's a huge time saver. Why reinvent the wheel? It's totally awesome. So that is our tool number 4. Tool number 5. You're going to love this. Playback, preview, and export. Of course, what good is this if you can't move around your Powtoon, if you can't play it properly, of course, if you can't export it and share it with other people. So we're going to hop back over to our other screen here. There are 2 play buttons. The large blue one here is play and continue. Wherever your playhead is, if you press that, it's going to start playing, and it's going to keep playing until you stop it or the Powtoon ends. This smaller button, play current slide from start, that will jump you back to the beginning of the slide that you're working on, and it will play to the end and then stop at the end of that slide. So pretty powerful stuff, nice detail there. The other thing you can do, you can preview your Powtoon. Let's say we've gotten everything edited that we want to do. It's all updated, everything is right, it's just so. And instead of just watching it in the player, we want to see what it looks like in full preview. Oh yeah, rock and roll. So as you saw there, you can export from there, or you can click this button to export. Let's go through the export flow very quickly. All right. So when you choose to export, you can publish it to My Powtoons. If you have a free account, you can publish it, upload it directly to Vimeo, YouTube, or Wistia, and you can download it as a PowerPoint or a PDF. If you have a premium plan, then you can also upload it to SlideShare, and you can directly download the MP4. And you can also share it on all these social platforms. You can send it in an email, send it as an embed. Today, we're just going to publish it to My Powtoons. Click My Powtoons. And this loads up the details page. So you can title it or change the title. You can add a description. You can add tags if you use tags to manage your projects. You can categorize it. Say it was marketing and sales. Again, if you have a pro account, you can have it unlisted, and soon we're going to have password protection as well. Otherwise, you can leave it public so people can see it. If you click next, then you see the quality here. Again, paid users can remove the watermark, the Powtoon watermark, and the created using Powtoon slide at the end of Powtoons. If you have a free account, that's going to stay on there. And also you have some additional definition, high definition, regular definition, standard definition rather, high definition, and full HD export options as well when you have the premium plan. So we're going to go ahead and export. This only takes a moment. And then you'll see your Powtoon here on the player page. And it'll load up and be ready to go. So those are your 5 tools of awesomeness. And if you're overwhelmed, that's okay. You want to know why? This is a little bit like learning a language by reading a dictionary, right? I just gave you all these words, but I didn't give you any grammar. I didn't give you any usage, right? But the good news is that's what the second part of this webinar is all about. The 4 steps to a perfect Powtoon. This is the grammar guide for the dictionary that is the 5 tools of awesomeness. So stick with me here. It's very simple. Storyboard, script, voiceover, timing, and design. What I've done to kind of demonstrate this is I want to go through and show you what it's like to use the storyboard as a tool to create a Powtoon. And this fits right in with how we recommend thinking about your work, okay? So what I'm going to do is just jump back over to the My Powtoons page. This looks familiar, I'm sure. And instead of going with Start from Scratch or a popular template, we're going to build our story scene by scene. The first thing to do is choose a look. If these look familiar, professional, whiteboard, infographic, cartoon, corporate, yeah, those are how the layouts were organized, and they're the same 5 visual styles. They've got other individual styles underneath them. Ooh, pardon me, sorry about that. And what that does, I had just chosen professional. Sorry, my computer glitched there for a second. I chose professional, and what it does is it brings you to the storyboard page. You just like with the templates gallery, you can choose your context, your situation for what you're using it for. For the purposes of this demonstration, we're going to be making a Powtoon to promote a mobile app. Okay, I did a little bit of thinking about this ahead of time. Let's say this mobile app is called Appsistant, and it's a way for young professionals who don't have money to hire an assistant to have an assistant, right? To have some support, all that sort of stuff. That's my basic idea. So I'm going to maybe look at a sales and marketing structure. What this does is it loads up an empty storyboard. And all you see here are the placeholders for the scenes in a recommended sales and marketing script. But of course, this isn't a script. It's just really an outline. We need to write the script. And I have a particular method that I like to use for that. Just take a moment here to show you. I call it the post-it method. And everybody see this here, the post-it method. Use a post-it to write your script for each scene. For each scene, one post-it. And and if you do that, this keeps your words limited and your message focused. I can even show you what that looks like here. I took a picture when I was preparing of how I like to do it. I put a post-it right on my computer screen. I'm sure the IT team doesn't like me doing that, but it's how it works best for me. And that way I can remember, this is my intro, this is my statement. Here I'm describing a problem. Here I'm illustrating the benefit. Here I'm showing them my solution. And here I'm giving a call to action. And right there at the end, I've got a little outro here. So I've actually written out that script here. As you can see, I crossed some things out. I thought a little bit differently about it. I also, when I was doing it, I was in the storyboard tool, and I was also thinking about the visuals I was going to make, I was going to use. Here's how you find those. If you click this plus sign, there's one when you hover over any of these slides, it'll pull up our gallery of scenes. Again, these are the scenes that are listed as layouts in the editor, but here they're categorized by all of these different areas that you would see in your storyboard. So there's specifics, which is who, what, where, when, why, charts, graphs, and data. There's situations like scopes, announcement, overview, concepts like a problem or a cause or a solution, a question or a policy. Again, call to action, ask your customers to do something, all that sort of stuff. So my process for this was I looked through, I had a sense of what I wanted to say, and I started trying to find guys that would work. I picked this one. I picked this guy. Right, for my problem. He was so confused. Where did so confused go? I'm so confused. Here we go. There's so confused. Illustrate benefit. This was where I was going to use this list, this little laundry list there to illustrate all the benefits. And the solution is here to show that we're always there for you. Again, you got to ask your audience to do something. I mean, what a tragedy if they have a wonderful time. They watch your video. It's very entertaining. They learn something new, whatever it was, and then what do? They don't know how to find you. They don't know what they're supposed to do next. You want to be real specific, even if it's call in case of emergency. But I'm going to go ahead with use download the app. Finally, add your outro. Thank you. Add your outro. And you're ready to go to the editor. So we're not going to do that with this right now. What I'm going to do is show you the one that I made. I also did a quick voiceover guide track for this. And that, of course, is the fourth step, right? So we were just talking about storyboard and script, and we worked on those. And once those were ready, then that's when I recorded my voiceover. I used a software called Audacity for that. It's a free software, Audacity, Audicity. Acity. pardon me. And it's a really great tool to be able to just get something down and upload it into Powtoon. Super awesome. So let's take a look here at what I did, and you'll see already. If you remember, the first slide had a woman character in it. I swapped that out, and the fourth item there after voiceover is design and timing, right? So we're going to take a look here. I haven't really done much to adjust the timing at all. All I did was upload my voiceover in the sound manager and loaded up my storyboard and changed a couple of the details in the text. Let's see how it turned out.
Hey kid, how's that new job going? Is it overwhelming you with too much work? And confusing you with contradictory goals? What if you had a
So you can see already we're getting behind the ball here, and this is so easy to fix. If we want to just take, I felt like this was about a second too long. I'm going to take a second away from this one, and we'll just play through from here and see how that too much work, does that align with that line in the voiceover. Let's take a look and see from here.
Is it overwhelming you with too much work?
See how they line up like that? That is, once you've already uploaded your voiceover, that is so easy to do. You can never guess it ahead of time. Boy, am I going to do this for 6 seconds? When you're recording the voiceover, I know I only have 6 seconds to say this. Forget about that. Flip the script. Record the voiceover first so it's natural, so it comes out, sounds good, and then time your slides according to your voiceover. Those are the 4 tips. The 4 steps to the perfect Powtoon. We're going to talk about the 2 painful mistakes to avoid. First of all, stick to the layouts. The biggest mistake is to not use those layouts, to not use the templates, to try and go it all alone and on your own. There's no reason to do that. If you want to save time, if you want a Powtoon with a professional look and feel, rely on those layouts, rely on the templates, or take the time. If you want to do it your way, that's totally cool too. But just know that's going to take a little bit more time. So that's, if you don't want to waste time, stick to the layouts. That's the first thing to remember. And what does KISS stand for? Keep it simple, Sammy. That's what we're talking about. So keep it simple. Don't overcomplicate things. It can get really difficult when you start putting those constraints on yourself. If you can keep it simple, if you can keep your script short, if you can keep it punchy and easy, then it's going to save you time and you are going to be a happy camper. Ladies and gentlemen, I want to thank you so much for joining the webinar today. We have a very special offer just for webinar registrants. If you go to bit.ly/starters guide special, you can pick up the annual Powtoon Business Premium Plan for 51% off. This is an awesome offer. I highly recommend it. You can get every soundtrack that we use, every character that we use, all those advanced export features that I showed you a moment ago. You can get that 51% off. This is one of the very, very best discounts we give because we love it when you guys come to webinars. It's so awesome. And by the way, if you're having success with Powtoon, let us know. We want to know. We want to feature you. We want to tell the world about the awesome things you're doing. So send us an email, success@powtoon.com. The other thing I want to say, look for us on Facebook. We've got a closed Facebook group for people who are primarily using Powtoon for professional use, for video marketing and for business, for internal communications. If that's the kind of thing you're into and you want to learn some tips and tricks from other Powtoon power users, look for us on Facebook. We're the Powtoon Premium Club. Powtoon Premium Club. It's a closed Facebook group. If you go ahead and ask for permission to join, mention that you came to the webinar, and we'd be very happy to let you in. Oh my God, we're running out of time, but I just want to show you real quick. We have our special sneak peek of Powtoon in HTML5. What does that mean? Oh man, it means better features, cooler stuff, faster loading times, less bugs. It means so much. And so we've just recently launched this internally. We're testing it. We're taking a look. We're trying to work out all the bugs. We hope to have this launched very, very, very soon. It's so amazing. And what I got permission to show you is the Powtoon we made in HTML5 on the new editor to show how cool this is going to be. This was for our internal launch, but I'm sharing it with you guys. So sit back. It's just a minute and a half. Enjoy. Woohoo! All right, thank you guys so much. I just sent out in the chat there direct link bit.ly/starters guide special. That'll take you to that 51% discount on Powtoon business. That's good until the end of April, so don't waste time, you guys. It's going to be totally awesome. We have some time for a couple of questions. If you want to put a question in the chat there, I'm happy to answer your questions for you for just a few more minutes. Anybody got any questions there? Anybody got any questions at all for me? Okay. I've got Diamond here saying, okay. Anyone else have a question? Anybody got a question for me? What is the difference between style menu and layouts menu? Okay, thanks so much. The styles menu and the layouts menu. So when you're looking at the layouts inside the editor, they're listed this way, right? And they're listed underneath infographic, business, corporate, whiteboard, cartoon. What that means is all of the layouts underneath that are going to be using the same kind of assets. They're going to be there's sort of going to be using the same visual vocabulary, right? When you're doing it in storyboard, however, where do I got to go back? Sorry, thanks for your patience, everybody. Change look. When you're doing it in storyboard, it's basically just coming at it from a different direction, right? So here we're going to pick this first, and then we're going to pick the layouts in the context of our script, in the context of how we want to put it all together, right? Whereas in the editor, it's much more disjointed like that. Also, up here you can see a style chooser, and this might be what you were asking about as well, Karen. Karen was asking that question. These are the individual styles that are listed under those 5 main things. So in other words, like Dream Team, these guys, they're part of the professional look, but so is Soho style, right? For technical reasons on the back end, it's easier to sort of group them as families that are similar, and they all kind of speak the same visual language. So this is kind of a very micro way to do it, or you can rely on the layouts as organized by these larger style families. I hope that was clear. And
different breakdowns of the styles in the library. So here we'll give you all the characters from the whiteboard.
So if you couldn't hear that, my associate Talia there was just mentioning, you can see all the different characters when you look at each one of these here when you choose library. So if we choose like Metro style, it's going to show me all of the characters. Once it loads up the style, it's going to show me all the characters in Metro style, right? So that's another way to move around that. Are there any other questions that anybody has? No, okay, that's all right. Thank you guys so much for joining the webinar today. This was totally awesome. I hope you got something out of it. Please let us know if there's anything you else you need from us. Let us know. Give feedback about this webinar and what was helpful about it. Also, remember, pick up that Powtoon Premium before the end of April. That is a really awesome offer. And thanks so much, you guys, for joining. This was an exhilarating time. Have a wonderful end of your week. Have a happy Easter. Have a wonderful springtime. Thank you guys so much and stay awesome.